Welcome to Lucas Oil on the Edge this week, coming to you from Shakopee, Minnesota, for some more extreme flagpole racing. You've seen it on the Edge before, but Shakopee, Minnesota, one of the greatest places at flagpole racing, and it's coming up next on the Edge.
Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge.
Sit back, grab yourself something cool to drink and a bag of chips. We're gonna have some fun here on a Saturday night. That's what it's all about. The flagpole race presented by General Tire with Lucas Oil on the Edge. And we're in Shakopee, Minnesota. Ken Stout, Brian Olson, and Lurch will be covering all the action. There's nothing hardcore about this. It's just good old fun.
You can tell it's a family affair, man. From the youngest to the old ones, baby. They're all here at Shakopee here this weekend. And this is a great event for all to be had here tonight.
Let's go down to Lurch.
Thanks, Ken. Raceway Park, Shakopee, Minnesota, Night of Destruction, and they have got something special planned. Flagpole racing. This is the way it's going to work. The cars are going to line up. It's like horse racing, but different. They're going to go out of turns 1, turn 2, then they're going to dive to the inside, back to the outside like slalom racing, back into 3 and 4, full speed, and then they're coming here. We're turning it into barrel racing. They're going to have to come in tight, go to the outside, back around, corkscrew around it to the finish line. Guess what? They leave the door open. Guys are going to dive to the inside. They're going to lose position. And they stay inside, but they still got to get through that traffic coming through. It's anybody's ball game. Last guy around this tire and cross that finish line. It's going to be your winner.
All right, here's the recap from heat number 1. And, you know, I said this wasn't hardcore, but if you talk to these drivers, you'll find out that they're serious about winning this thing.
Absolutely. As you watch them make their way around the flagpole, it was always my feeling that a short wheelbase car was the better car to have. But as they make a little bit more power year to year, we see a battle here between Hogan and Turso in heat race number 1. They make their way, which normally would be the crossover here at a figure 8 track. But these cars, in this case, the big Caprices and the 4-door Impalas, seem to be the dominant cars this year.
That looks like a nice Monte Carlo there in second place. And boy, I tell you know, he just kicks the back end of that thing out there, and now the door is open. Can he take advantage of it? Car number 750, Tom Turso, and he's underneath him right there.
Tom's got that full body, and I believe early 80s Monte Carlo. Hard to tell without the headlights on board. Of course, they're knocked out for this event. But he's got a lot more road to hoe, if you will. But he'll take the lead right away from that 51 machine.
Let's see how he does around the flagpole. Locks up the front end, and then finally gets the car rotated. Oh, and he gets a little help right there as everybody goes bumper to bumper. Or bumper to quarter panel, maybe is a better way to say it. Oh, and just that quickly, the 51 who is leading gets into trouble. Zach Hogan now well back.
Yeah, Zach's car looked like it may have stalled out or something, not sure exactly. But whatever the situation, he lost power and is way back at about the 5th spot. That car right there, that 750 machine, the Monte Carlo of Turso, makes a nice smooth move. But what you gotta also remember, you gotta watch for the traffic coming in. As he's being pursued by that 87 as he makes his way out, that is Todd Wilson.
Todd Wilson really got around the flagpole very, very good and very quickly, nice and tight, and now is closing that gap on Turso. I'm very impressed with how good these cars actually turn, so obviously they're working with the suspension on these things to get them to turn right and left this well.
No question about it. You know, unlike an oval car, you watch that 87 machine there, Wilson.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That was textbook right there.
Picture perfect, baby.
Man, he went in way wide and then tightened it up. Ran around that pole sideways. That was perfect.
If you watch it close, Ken, I think you might remember seeing. Watch the left front wheel of that 87. When he clamps on that brake, he's using that baby, I think, as a steering arm as well.
See if we can have another look at it right here. If he sets it up the same, way wide, boy, just locks it up, pitches in that sideways, gets back on the throttle. You cannot run a tighter circle than that.
And Turso does everything he can to get around, but Wilson's just making all the right moves right here. That car looks like an old 2-door Caprice.
White flag, baby, last lap, and I take it all back. I said this wasn't hardcore. Todd Wilson is hardcore, man. He has got a system down, and he's bad to the bone.
If you take a look at the tire sizes, the biggest one is on the left front, if that makes any sense at all. But but it looks like that's the case here. Great job right there.
Excellent job, and just like that, Todd Wilson will bring home the win. Congratulations to him. Some beautiful driving there out of Todd.
Definitely the driver of the event right there, no question about it. And that is a full-size Caprice, but it is a two-door model, it appears at least.
There's a look at the final results. That is heat number 1. Obviously, heat number 2 coming up in just a few moments, and you don't want to miss that because eventually we're going to get all these people together, and that will be exciting. Stay with us. This On the Edge telecast brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. Herculiner truck bed liners, when the tough come easy. And by General Tire, the official tire of living on the edge.
Man, one of the highlights of my job, I get to walk through the pits. We ran into last year's winner, John Laban's in the pit. Tell us a little bit about the flag race and how it's going to be different this year than it was last year.
Pretty much it's going to be the same. We got the tire out by the start-finish line, and we come around 1 and 2, go through the little kidney bean, come around 4, and we got to loop around the tire. Last year, I was at the right place, right time. The leader got taken out. Last lap, I ducked in, went for the final lap, and won it.
All right, for people watching out there right now, tell me where the time's going to be made up. Where are we going to see all the action here tonight?
Most of the actions will be right around the flagpole, right around the tire by the flagman. That's where all the action will be for the flagpole races.
All right, we caught up with them now. Let's see if we can catch up with them at the end of the night, once again in the winner's circle.
Okay, heat number 2. Let's recap the action here. And again, as you might imagine, they would get after it pretty quickly.
Joel Johnston, Ricky Martin battle it out right here. And that is a battle for third position. Is out front is the bright orange machine. And again, you look at a bunch of 4-door Caprices, Impalas, and a couple 2-door hardtops as well.
Talk about a roundabout. You know, people struggle with a roundabout. You know, imagine getting inside of this thing.
Oh, man, there does look like there's other lanes that could intercept, but you get around here, baby, it's all about bumpers. Scott Westphal is your leader. And again, another one of those full-size 4-door sedans, number 88 machine.
It's really pretty amazing because they don't want to make any contact if they can keep from it, because obviously it's going to slow them down, whether you're coming into the flagpole or leaving the flagpole, but at the same time, you don't want to give up your spot either.
Right there's a great example. He played it just picture perfect. The 88, once again, and Scott Westphal not only went into the turn and around the tire at the right time, but came out at a perfect time as well. No traffic around.
And again, just very impressive how good these cars turn in.
There's about 12 cars all total in this heat race as we watch a battle once again for third. Steve Daler, Ricky Martin, that's the 89 alongside the 3. Now we're getting pretty busy around here, and it's spread out momentarily, and that's a great job there as well, Ken.
Yeah, Ricky Martin, I thought he did a great job and was going to just drive away, but Dealer really rotated around that tire perfectly and stays right on the back bumper, the 89 car of Ricky Martin.
He's showing some bumper Martin right now. He's telling, hey, I want to get through here. And I'd say there's good potential here as this thing winds down with about 3 1/4 laps to go, maybe 3 total, I should say, that he'll probably be seeing a bumper just any minute now.
Oh, and right there, the 3 car of Steve Dealer got a little aggressive on the entry right there, and that cost him some time.
83 makes a good move out of there as well as we look at, once again, your leader, Scott Westphal, in that gray with black top, number 88. Again, can't really tell if it's Caprice or a Chevrolet Impala, but it's a 4-door, no question about it.
And you can see these guys dealing with the sun as it sits down here late in the evening as well. He actually put some tape up on there to kind of make like a sun visor, if you will.
Yeah, creates his own blinder there, if you will, because when you get into certain spots in the track, and this is certainly not a place, even you can tell here, by looking, he's got a tinted shield on, I believe, as well, Ken. But you get in a situation where you can't see, this is not the place to have bad vision, no question.
We're trying to come around here in the final laps of heat number 2 as we watch the 88 car, and he gets it done. Going the wrong way, but you know what? He made an adjustment because there was 3 cars there, nose to tail. Now was not the time to fight for the spot because he had no pressure from second place.
And you mentioned right there before, it's a matter of playing a good, smooth race. He did what he had to do. Westphal, Martin, Daler, and Barta, your top 5 here.
All right. That'll set the stage for our main event. And when we come back, that's exactly what we're going to bring you.
Here we go, Todd Wilson. A lot of guys think flagpole racing is about technique. Other guys think about speed. What's your take on it?
It's fun. You know, they threw a little tire in the middle of it there, and we had to try and get around that, go around the track, and then worry about the other guys coming through. So it's really fun. It's a blast.
All right, now when you're out on the course, are you talking speed? What's going to win a race for a guy? How you approach the corners, how you approach the turns, or just flat out speed?
No, you don't want to go too fast. You want to be able to make the corners, and then especially going around the tire for the flagpole, actually, you want to go in slow and come off good, because otherwise you go too far, people will be able to dive underneath you, get that position from you, and that's what you don't want.
All right, obviously some later model cars out there. Tell me a little bit about what we got under the hood.
Well, most of us, it's a 350, bored out a little bit. We get pretty much a stock class, but we can do a little bit with motors, a little bit with suspension. We're all either driving Monte Carlos or else Caprices, the 2-door, 4-door Caprices, and they're getting harder to find, but you know, we're still finding them and we're still racing hard.
A rare breed, they still can't go fast.
That's right, we can make them go.
Now, speaking of rare breeds, I heard that there might be a motorized cooler running around somewhere.
Yeah, actually, my neighbor and I got to talking in the garage over a couple of adult beverages, and threw it down on paper, and over the winter it came alive, and we got an 8-horse cooler cart that does 14 miles an hour. It's a blast.
Well, that can get the refreshments to anyone quick, can it?
Holds 4 cases.
Good old-fashioned American ingenuity, baby.
That's good stuff right there, Ken. Liebens and Martin will lead them to the green flag at the start of the finale here of the flagpole event. And Ken, 23 cars, baby. This is going to get good.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a pile of them there. So once you get around that tire, around that flagpole, if you will, you're going to have to deal with a lot of traffic to get back out there on the open track. And it's Jason Rotter who will round out that field of 23, so he's going to be pretty impatient. They want to get up there as quick as possible. Here we go. The 44 car is going to lead them around. That's John Liebens.
Watch Liebens. We talked to him a little bit earlier. He's your defending champion, and he starts on the pole. Best place to be. But Ken, with 23 cars, I got to wonder how long it'll take before they catch up with that 68 machine, which once again is Rotter at the tail end.
Boy, I tell you, he and Ricky Martin have been going at it. Ricky Martin wants the bottom. He doesn't want to give Ricky Martin the bottom. I can't believe he hasn't lost it twice. Ricky Martin's going to be the first one to the flagpole.
A lot of battling going on right off the bat. We mentioned now coming out just as hard as going in. In fact, you got to really watch yourself close. They are all bottlenecked up there.
Somebody's going the wrong way around the flagpole. That can't be good.
Who comes out with the best? That's Ricky Martin in the 89. And John Liebens right there in that 44. They'll be doing battle. Once again, the 44, the driver is your defending champion.
On board. Let's watch and listen. You can tell them, I mean, they're out of the throttle for a while. It's really easy to overdrive that flagpole.
Hey, oh, lots of bumping going on right there. There's one turning around backwards.
He is not happy, I promise, as we go back to our leader.
That is once again the 89 of Ricky Martin. I want to go back real quickly to that onboard shot, Ken. You heard Wilson in his interview earlier, who started in the third row, talk about 350 cubic inches and so forth. But the onboard was a great example of the amount of power these things make. That baby sounded really, really crisp.
Boy, and the leader and second place really have put some distance between them and the rest of the field already, so some good smooth driving. But the problem is you have to deal with all that lap traffic. Any one of those guys can take you out.
We're coming right back to Shakopee, Minnesota for some more exciting flagpole racing on the edge. It's one thing to go around in circles, but when you got to deal with that flagpole, no lead is safe. Let's find out who gets it done on the edge.
We're back here in Shakopee, Minnesota, watching the flagpole race, and when we left you, it was Ricky Martin who was in the lead, and he and Liebens are well ahead of the rest of the pack as we look a little bit deeper in the field here, a battle for third.
Terso, Rick Martin, and Scott Westfall right there in a row. That 750 at the tail end. We saw that Monte Carlo earlier in the heat race, did a great job and won. Now he's trying to battle for his position right here as we want things to be on the halfway point.
You know, the amazing thing to me is I don't think anybody's hit the tire around the flagpole yet.
That is amazing. And I got to tell you, with 23 cars on track, that this thing's really, it's not obviously been mishap-free, but it's been a little bit uneventful by way of bumping and grinding, if you will.
And that was Rick Martin in the 33, not to be confused with Ricky Martin, who is in the 89.
You reckon they're cousins or what?
With Steve Motley. Brothers, I think.
Great onboard shot right there with Steve Motley, that 67. Now you watch Terso. Oh, and some hit going on right there, the 3 and the 87.
Yeah, boy, that was a tough hit. Todd Wilson with the 87, who was so good early on. Man, he gets the raw end of that deal, courtesy of Steve Dealer in the 3 car.
And there's the 88. He'll get around it free and clear. Now the 88 machine, which is real good in the heat of Scott Westfall, was early battling for that 3rd spot. Oh! You got a sticker in reverse, kid.
That seat laid back, man. He looked pretty comfortable in there, didn't he?
He did. He looked like he's out for a Sunday drive. Man, oh, there's a big hit right there, one of the front runners.
Yeah, that's the 88 car. That is Scott Westfall.
He's going to back around the ball.
You know, he won the second heat, and he's going to keep it in reverse here for a moment.
Oh, great job. How good was that? Look at that.
Lost a little bit, but, you know, I mean, it could have been way worse.
Looked like something off of a TV movie. On board with Zach Kirsting, the number 5 machine. And again, you listen to the power as he makes his way through the center section of what normally would be a figure 8 track here.
You know, you can actually hear him feathering the throttle. I mean, if they mat that thing, they'll roast the tire, the inside tires. It'll lose grip, so they do need some good throttle control.
Take a look at that right front wheel there, Ken. We mentioned earlier during the heat races how I believe they use a little more right front brake than anywhere, try to push these things in the corner. And that's obvious with the sparks coming off there for Ricky Martin.
A little smoke coming out the tire there, too. He might have been hit by another car, which also caused some issues.
Definitely, that will create a flat tire in a minute. That fender was caved in pretty good on that right side. Meanwhile, they get into the back marker traffic there. The 89 once again of Ricky Martin. He's got a lot of sparks coming from a lot of areas here, Ken.
On board with Steve Motley. Through what they called the kidney bean earlier, possibly a chicane. I mean, it does kind of run in there and create a kidney bean shaped track on the backside.
I call it the middle of the figure 8 track. A kidney bean is far more effective, I guess. Oh, this is big right here. A lot of bumping going on. They all come out pretty well there.
Yeah, the 67 really on the gas right there. Flagging the tail end back around. That was Steve Motley. And John Liebens right here is looking to take the lead. He's in that purple car down on the bottom. The leader, the 89 up high. And sure enough, Liebens is going to sneak through and take the lead.
Wow, that was one great pass as he took the flagpole real tight and inside while the Caprice made a move on the outside. Liebens, your defending champion, snuck right in there for the first time in the event. We got a new leader.
Well, he looks pretty calm in there, too, doesn't he?
He's a laid-back guy. You can pretty well tell in the interview earlier that Liebens is pretty much a laid-back guy. But that 89, Ken, watch the right front wheel. I think you're correct. That's taking a toll on that thing, and I believe that baby may be going flat any time now.
Yeah, something's giving up in there, boy. You can see the suspension really leans down hard on a lot of smoke off the tire and sparks off the brakes. We're going to have sparks for the final laps. Come on back. This On the Edge telecast has been brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. Herculiner truck bed liners, when the tough come easy. And by General Tire, the official tire of living on the edge. All right, we're back with the final laps here of the flagpole race, and with just about 5 laps to go, it was John Liebens who took over the lead.
He did a great job right at the flagpole and took it away from that bright blue machine there of Ricky Martin. Now, Ricky's been struggling just a little bit with that right front tire, but Liebens has run just a smoother race and did a great job at taking the lead a few laps ago.
Yeah, Ricky's car flexed some horsepower muscle to drop at the green flag. He just basically drove away from Liebens, but since then, Liebens closed the gap, then drove around the flagpole a little better. You know, you constantly hear about coil binding. It looks like they're binding up that right front as they come into the final lap.
These things got caster and camber on both sides like I've never seen before. Each wheel leaning out to its respective side, if you will. And once again, the 89 using brakes on the left and right front really hard. He's not using any brakes now.
He was trying to loosen him up, man, see if he could get underneath him, and tries to push him wide. Boy, it was just that close. The final lap, and it's going to go to back-to-back champion John Liebens in the 44. Congratulations.
Well, he drove the better race. He was the better car, and he will take the checkered flag home tonight. John Liebens, your flagpole race feature winner here tonight.
Ricky Martin just made one small mistake, but it cost him the race, and Tom Terzo rounds out the top 3.
There's your top 8 overall, and 9 through 16 in the 16th spot. Dennis Barta, Scott Westfeld up to 9th overall, started out in front of the pack. And your next group right there, Ken.
Yep, all the way down to 23rd. But let's talk to the winner.
Congratulations, great run there.
Thank you.
We talked earlier about being in the right place, right time. Second time we're here, second time it happened.
You betcha. Last lap, I knew Ricky was kind of coming. He was punting me in the back. He was trying to, I got her on the tire, and then the other one, 33, I apologize for him, but I had to go to get the win. This is awesome.
All right, now tell me about that pass. We saw Ricky get shoved to the outside. That lapper traffic gave him trouble. You seized that opportunity.
Yep, I seen him go way wide. My car turns pretty sharp. I ducked underneath, and there was like 4 laps to go, and I was just hoping I could hold on.
And hold on, he did. Hey, sit back and relax. We're going to bring you some highlights from the lawnmower race.
Ken, we are at Raceway Park, Shakopee, Minnesota, and you know what? Anybody can have a small dream, but they've made them big. Check it out behind me, lawnmower racing. These guys are going to be pulling laps. These carts can go anywhere from, you know how the handheld ones go, up to 60 miles an hour. These guys are going to be going big time. Start out with that small dream, put a big motor behind it, and you can take it. Think of all the stars of racing that have come up from those lower classes. This is grassroots blue-collar racing.
Doesn't matter what you're on, as long as you're racing, it's cool. Hope you had a great time. Remember to log on to newwavetv.com to find out where the OTE gang and Terry's RV are headed to next. For Lurch and Brian Olson, I'm Ken Stout. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.